It's the Jaden Show, and here's your host, Jaden Cornelius.
It's Sunday. It's the Jaden Show. It's Sunday. Oh, I'm exhausted just doing that. Hello, welcome to the Jaden Show. I am Jaden, and have I got a wonderful show for you today. If you liked Harry Potter series, if you liked the Twilight movies, if you liked a bit of suspense, a bit of supernatural happenings, and a little bit of sexual activity as well, then you are going to love the books by today's special guest, authoress Candi Fox. She's from up north in the United States of America, and we're going to meet her now. So let me introduce to you our very special guest. Candi Fox, welcome to the Jaden Show. How are you doing, lovely lady?
I'm awesome. I'm so excited to be here.
Bloody lovely. And how radiant do you look?
It only took 5 hours. I'm kidding. It was just an hour.
Just a blink of an eye as far as glamour and sophistication is concerned.
Well, you know, if dynamic magic worked the way I wanted it to, it would just be blinking.
It would be
or
twinkle
the nose.
from The Craft,
like
right? Do you remember the film The
Yeah.
Craft? Where she just did this. I would like to go blue, but then I would kind of, you wouldn't see my head. I'd have to kind of make sure I was always in the red and white section of my flag.
Yeah,
So
we'd have to get you a new flag or something.
Yeah, I'd have to put the Brazilian flag up.
We'll put a flag off to the side and something else behind you or something, yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a few things I'd like behind me on this wall. But how are you doing? Where are you hailing from? What part of the United States, Estados Unidos?
I am in the Southwest in Oklahoma.
Wow.
Specifically in Tulsa, but I'm from Indiana.
How long have you lived in Tulsa for?
I've been here 9 years.
What's the climate difference? Is it like the same or?
Oh my gosh, there's so much difference. Okay, so Indiana is a little cooler on average, except for the summers are about the same, except for the heat is a little drier here than it is in Indiana. Indiana, when you walk out in 100-degree weather, you feel like somebody is mugging you, literally.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's just so humid, and it's not quite that bad here most of the time. It's much warmer here all the time. We don't get a lot of snow. In Indiana, we always got snow and ice and, big storms. It's not as green here, and the trees aren't as big. But, again, you trade off for milder winters.
Yeah.
And I like it here. It took me a couple of years because, I'm used to hill country, and it's really not hilly here for the most part. I mean, if we go out, we see some stuff, but I moved from Brown County, Indiana, and let's just say it took you 30 minutes to get to town from where I lived because the roads were all curved and up and down.
Wow, okay.
So 12 miles took you 30 minutes to get to town. And then I moved here in this house, which is smack dab in the middle of the city, and we're looking for a little farm, which I want to go back out to because, I still need goats and miniature cows and ducks and chickens. Mm-hmm. Plus, I want to raise my own food. I grew up actually a farm girl.
Wow, okay.
So, I know how to do the canning and all that good vegetables and all that stuff. And, when you pulled a tomato, for example, out of the ground, it tastes 5,000 times better than what you get at the store.
Absolutely. Yeah, I've started.
It's the same thing for the beef. Yeah. When you raise your own meat, I think it's actually probably better for the environment, A, but B, the taste difference is incredible.
Yeah, no, I remember I've started growing some little things here. Obviously, Cancun, Mexico, completely different to good old Blighty. So having to kind of work out what I can grow, what I can't grow, because I've never been really green fingered. I've just been really blessed that I have a little bit of an earth connection. So I love getting my hands into earth and creating things. And
the funny thing about it is, if it's in a garden, I'm fine. But anything that comes in the house, I kill. Not on purpose, but it just happens. Yeah.
Hopefully, we're talking just not like partners, friends, animals. We're just talking about plants, right? Anything that comes into this house doesn't.
Just plants. Anything comes into this house. Although, no, I'm kidding.
And we know a book about that.
Actually, I do kill the people I don't like off in my book after I torture them.
Oh, so this is your way of kind of getting out all the frustration.
Yeah. My very first book,
Bastard Humans,
Strange Beginnings, which is from the Killing Chronicles. Actually, the guy that beat the snot out of me and gave me PTSD, is the bad guy in that book.
Wow. So well, actually, let's go back.
He's a serial killer in that book.
Because you're an authoress, and your
Yes.
latest book, Blade, is kind of like a paranormal.
A paranormal MC motorcycle club book. So
Yeah.
they don't call them gangs anymore. They're all MCs now.
Okay.
MCs, but there is the 1%. Like, so the Hells Angels and the Outlaw MCs are considered the 1%.
Okay.
And then the other ones are just considered regular clubs.
Right. So a lot of your writing, a lot of your inspiration, where does it come from? Is it the people that you've had
I
contact
actually
with?
saw my first ghost when I was 2.
Okay.
And so I've always been really intrigued with the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
So I've read everything I could and studied everything I could. And now the books just come from that in my imagination.
Yeah.
Like the MC books are Odin's Wolves MC. And so I'm using a lot of Norse mythology. I use the mythology where Gaia is the one that created the shifters. She created them as guardians for Earth. And the first one she created was wolves. And Odin, for those of you that maybe study the Norse mythology, Odin is kind of like, oh, wait, I want that. You should give it to me, because that's just kind of how he is. So, basically she's like, all right, fine. You can have 100 of them, but they have to volunteer. So then what he did was, after he got his 100, is he started infusing them with his own essence. So essentially now they're all demigods.
Okay.
And, they've lived hundreds of years, and, what their thing, of course, is just still help protect the earth, because that was, but they don't always follow the law when they do it. So we have things like, a massive furnace in their place so they can just maybe burn a body, or there's a meat grinder there, they can take care of that.
And lots of
I just throw things to the crabs. My research, if the police ever got a hold of my search engine, my search history, there's a lot about serial killers and how to kill people without evidence on there. Yeah.
Fantastic. And not only that, but there's lots of good sex and very handsome muscle guys.
There's lots of good sex on there. I wrote, now the second book of the MC series, Viper, actually has my first male scene.
Ooh.
And one of my really great gay friends actually kind of walked me through like what he likes and what his experience is, because I really wanted to make it authentic.
Mm-hmm.
And then one of my gay husbands read it and gave it the thumbs up. So and I actually next year I'll have in that series will be my first male novel out.
Wow.
And I'll do the same thing.
You wouldn't find that with J.K. Rowling now, would you?
No, not
So
at all.
kids, if you're watching this and you've enjoyed your Harry Potters, now it's time to adult it up a little bit and come over to the Candi Fox's side of the fence.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. We have dynamic magic, and hey, one of my characters actually has this large tattoo on her back, and that's where her sword comes from. She pulls it.
Oh,
from,
the
like,
tattoo. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, and then in the first book, she wound up getting daggers on each wrist too that she can do the same with. And they dedicated them, but they have to do them they did them the old-fashioned way, with the tap
Mm-hmm.
and the ink. They did her tattoo like they would in the old-fashioned way, so it was very painful, but it was something that she dedicated to her goddess. So, and that's actually Freya. So before I did the MC, I was doing that. So I just tied in the Norse Odin because I was already using Freya.
So is there a kind of theme that runs through all the books? I mean, like not just your MC stuff, but like because you've written other stuff as well.
Just the Naked Truth series, which has Harley, and she's a dynamic witch. She's actually a blood witch. And then the MC, because it's run out of the same world. So those are tied together. And then my Killing Chronicles is about serial killers.
Okay.
With a paranormal twist.
Mm-hmm. And
then I have 80s books, which are just like rock star romance, which is just, there's no paranormal in those. It's a lot of fun. The reason I wrote them in the 80s is because we did so many things. Because there was no cameras, there was no phones,
there's no internet to be released.
There was no cell phones, no internet. So the things that I did as a teenager are probably things people don't do nowadays, maybe until they're 20 or 30.
Okay.
But I did them. and we had a lot of fun. And so I kind of write from that aspect, but I also put a lot of like myself in those. I had a pretty rough life, and so I put little pieces of that into the books. But then, of course, I give the characters happy endings. So I think it's a lot of fun. My first 80s book actually won the Best Rockstar Romance Award from Ink and Lace.
Wow, okay.
So it's a lot of fun. I think people maybe mistakenly, because it says high school, think that maybe it's a YA, but it's really not, because, you know, my junior prom, Andrea, a girl that was a senior, brought a 35-year-old to prom. Okay. And my date was 24. So, you know, things that wouldn't happen nowadays happened then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Hill Street Blues, in the first couple seasons, one of the older cops is actually dating somebody that's in high school.
Wow. And
he's like in his 30s or 40s, like late 30s, early 40s.
Wow.
Because and it did, and people were like, "Well, that's gross." I'm like, "Okay, but it happened. It literally happened. This is my life experience. These are things that I saw happen, that I witnessed happened, or that happened to me."
Yeah. Yeah. No,
Plus, the music is radical, right?
My first partner was nearly 20 when I was 14.
Yeah.
Great that I used to get picked up in a car from school. I didn't think it was bad on any level whatsoever. So, you know, crazy. But yeah, no, things are super different.
Yeah. Well, plus the music is cool, right?
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? No. Until now. And at the time, I really didn't like 80s music. But now, when you hear that, like just anything, Maria McKee comes on, like Show Me Heaven, or, you know, like, or just something like, oh my God, that takes me back to those days where everything was just different. Like there seems to be no hassle.
Club and Michael Jackson and
yeah, exactly, everything.
And Freddie. I mean, who can forget Freddie? I mean, we had Freddie and David Bowie doing some stuff together.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, but and even I remember my first pair of baggy jeans, and I've just seen a pair in Cancun like 2 weeks ago. I was like, oh my God, even that's coming back now. And I've got friends with the tash and the mullet. I'm a little bit I don't really want the mullet to come back.
I've never been a mullet fan, except for Billy Ray Cyrus. His was the only mullet that I thought was actually.
Oh yeah, true. But I think we got Stranger Things to thank for this, right?
Yes, Stranger Things. But
that's kind of
I grew up in the 80s, so the 80s has always been for me. But yeah, anybody likes Stranger Things or the Carrie Diaries, Sex and the City, you know, they all talk about the 80s stuff. So absolutely, yeah. Madonna, you know, when she first came out, and we had like a Virgin and all those really great things. Cher. There was a lot of 70s bands that still played through the 80s. Kiss.
Yeah.
Rolling Stone, of course. Rolling Stones.
I think there's even like a bar or restaurant that's just open near where I live, which is like a 70s, 80s themed thing. So, you know, like, I think when you're living through it, you become complacent to it. It's just happening around you, right? There's things you like, there's things you don't like, but you're concentrating on exams, relationships, earning money, whatever, that you forget the whole culture. But then when you come out of that and you're reminiscing at a time where he was your best friend, your mum was this, or, do you know what I mean? And you're like, oh my God, like all that time, the 80s, all of a sudden just becomes really a time of memory, melancholia, like trend. It's like everything. But I think because I was born in the 70s, I was going through my adolescence, my teenage years during the 80s, and they're very transitory times where you don't know who you are, what you are, you know. So
1969. So
okay, so yeah, just a bit before me, really. But yeah, so
they landed on the moon. They had me.
But how amazingly I'm so pleased I was born then and not now. We had the best movies, the best music. Fashion was a bit dubious, have to be honest.
And I know that I'm sure every generation says this, but things were just so much simpler. We weren't plugged in 24/7.
Yeah.
You know, we still had family dinners. We had family outings where everybody got together for the holidays.
Community and respect.
You know, as a kid, I didn't play video games. I played out in the yard until the lights came on and it was time to go inside. But you just, you know.
Or your mama said, "Jay, dinner!" You heard that sort of wailing down the street when she was playing on the handmade go-kart or something. It was just...
Right. And you know, the neighborhood parents, if they caught you doing something, they could beat your ass too.
Yeah. You know. And they would drag you by your ear to your mum and dad's.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, they were different times.
I was a good kid though. Damn it, I really was a good kid.
Me too. I've got to be honest.
I waited until my 30s to get in trouble.
Really? Good girl.
Yeah. I was so shy and backwards and zero self-confidence. And then after I split up with my first husband, I was 34, and I'm like, maybe I should live life. And that's actually what I was adopted by, because I grew up in this really small-minded community where, first of all, everybody there was white Anglo-Saxon Protestants, and a lot of people belonged to the KKK, and so there was this just very narrow-minded thing that went around me, and so I got adopted by a really amazing group of trans women.
Wow.
In my early 30s, and they just took me under their wing. They took me everywhere with them. I was like the mascot, the GG mascot, GG for genetic girl or whatever. But it was just amazing, and that's how I learned really more about the gay community and the transgender community. And it wasn't that I had anything against the community; I just didn't know anything about it. I wasn't exposed to it. So, any comment that I would have made previous to that would have been made out of total ignorance, which is just lack of knowledge. There's a difference between ignorance and idiocy, because to me, ignorance is a lack of knowledge, which means I really don't know.
Yeah.
But I can find out. Whereas an idiot is, but you choose to do it anyway.
Yeah. Or you're too stuck in your ways to bother to be open to the possibility of something different, right? And,
I definitely wouldn't change any of that, because gay men and trans women have become, my best friends. And I feel like I can just be my 1,000% authentic self.
Whether gay or straight, trans or whatever, how amazing just to find people that can be your tribe, that you can be yourself 1,000%.
Absolutely.
That's rare. That's rare for most people anyway.
Some people are cool and they get lucky and they get born with families that are their tribe, and I have cousins that are that way.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
Some people aren't. Some people need their own tribe, and so I definitely found my tribe.
So your book is all about the things that you've learned over your years, the things that you've studied, and your experiences with a couple of people that have been arseholes thrown in there for good measure.
Yes, and absolutely, and even a lot of the sex and stuff has been from experiences and things that I've had, because I really cut loose in my 30s and had a good time. There wasn't much that I didn't try. I mean, not drugs, but sex-wise.
So, listeners, if you want to see what this young lady got up to in her 30s, you need to be reading those books, because now we know where all of those things came from. Just saying. I had some fun. I had some fun one-night stands, Yeah. Where can people find all your books? Where can they? I mean, do they just type in Candi?
They're all listed on Amazon.com.
Okay.
You can also find them on midnightcandy with an I.com.
Mm-hmm.
And my latest couple books now are going to be through Kobo and Scribd and all those places. Okay. So you can look that up, and you should be able to find me on any of those platforms now. I have several platforms.
Candi Fox, Candi with an I, and then they will find you on everywhere. Well,
yes,
we're going to put some of the links to the book sales actually down below, and we're also going to put links to your social media and your website and where people can find you.
Awesome. Yeah, and then for people who ask, this is my name. It's shortened from Candace, but my name actually is Candi Fox. It's on my driver's license. Because a lot of people use pen names, so most people assume that that's my pen name. But I'm like, my name is cool enough to be a porn star, so why wouldn't it be?
Why wouldn't it be your pen name? Fantastic. Now, we met many moons ago, probably when we were about 12, so that was, 8 years ago?
Yes. Yes.
And because you was a radio DJ, you had your own podcast and
on Blog Talk Radio now with Randy Slavacek, who's gone on to take over Vegas and the gay blogosphere in Nevada. Actually, he's won some awards for that. So that was a lot of fun. I got to meet a lot of people through him, because his husband is an agent, or not an agent. I always forget that other word. Publicist.
Publicist, that's it.
Publicist, yes. He's a publicist for John Takata and Olivia Newton-John and a bunch of people. And that's how we met, because you are an Olivia Newton-John fan.
Yeah.
And I had Olivia on my show. We started talking on Facebook because of Olivia. So, yeah. And I got to meet her in person, and she is just So she was, this is when I was in Indiana, right before I left, and she rode in the parade for the 500, Indy 500. And for those of you who don't know, Indiana at the end of May is like between 95 and 100 degrees and humid enough that you just, if you sweat, which I don't, I wish I did, but if you do, your clothes are just like instantly soaked. Yeah, it's just that humid out there. And she had been out all day in the sun because she's in the convertible waving. And I was lucky enough to have backstage passes, so I got to meet her like back in the back, where she signed my books and gave me a hug. It was just sweet as sweet could be. And you know, here she's been out in the sun for hours, and if anybody should have the right to be cranky, you know, it would be anybody who's out like that. And she was just the most amazing person. I mean, wow.
She's a diamond. I met her 3 times now, and she's always just, actually putting a bit more. She's always been, she's just
so sweet. And then later on, I got to meet her business partner for the spa, the health spa that they run in Australia.
Gaia, right? Yeah.
Gaia, right? And which I think is cool because, you know, I use Gaia the goddess as part of my lore, but and he is super cool too. He's just really nice. He's super nice. But I think all the people I've met are really nice. Like Russell Todd, who was Dr. Jamie Frame on As the World Turns. I met him also through Randy, and you know, I had a huge crush on him when I was a teenager. So, and we've actually become friends, which is fun because how often do you get a conference? And I met Lee Curry online, and he was in Fame. Bruno, right? And he's just a sweetheart too. He's a total sweetheart.
I've asked him if he wants to be on my show, so I'm hoping he'll say yes at some point because that would be amazing. I was the biggest.
That would be amazing.
I was the biggest Fame fan. I don't know if I was in love with or wanted to be Doris. I couldn't work it out. I was going for hi Fidelity, hi. I was just like, oh my God.
I wanted to be anybody that could dance because I really couldn't. So
you and me both, darling. I think
or sing. When I was in high school, I couldn't sing either. I mean, I have a decent voice for an amateur, for sure. But like in high school, I couldn't even carry a tune. So just going from not being able to carry a tune to being able to sing in front of, you know, a few thousand people at church was amazing to me. So
wow. I couldn't even carry a tune in a bucket, darling, when I was younger. So I don't know how I ended up being a singer on any level. This is why now I'm branching into chat show because I like talking a lot more than I like singing.
I love talking. I should be like, okay, so I'm J.K. Rowling and Oprah Winfrey, except for I'm X-rated because I have 0 filters.
Okay, that's cool. J.K. Winfrey, we're going to call you then from now on.
J.K. Winfrey.
This is your pen name.
Yes, and I'll take all their money too because I want to do so much good with it.
That would be amazing. That'd be amazing. Do you miss doing?
I already have plans. I already have plans for animal things. So yeah.
That'd be amazing. Do you miss the whole? I mean, because I guess being an authoress is quite a solitary experience because you're just. I mean, it is and it isn't. You're working with the characters within your book, but at the same time, you are on your own, focused into this story. Do you miss doing the podcast and the radio stuff because that gave you the opportunity to do this, to have a good old chinwag with
I do actually, and hopefully I'll get time again where I can devote it and do it full time again where I do it once a week. Every time I seem to do that, I've had a lot of health issues and stuff just kind of goes sideways, and but I'm working on, you know, getting in shape and doing all that stuff so that my health is primo, and once that happens, yeah, we'll do the podcast again.
So what else are the future plans for Candi Fox? Are we seeing films of your books? Are we seeing?
Yes, I absolutely want to find somebody. I want to make. So just the MC in particular, I'd like to see it in films, and I would like to see a graphic novel made because the content is just so much better when you have 10 feet blood splatters.
Yeah.
I'm really funny. I'm not like into violence or anything, but in my books, and I can't read violence, which is really funny, but in my books, I know that people like it. So my characters, can do it. One of the, in my first book, Viper, his mate's ex attempted to rape her, and he pretty much just pulled the guy's head off, spine and all. Okay. So I'm one of those people that I I want to make it difficult make it a challenge, but I like it when the good guys win.
Yeah.
I think it's important especially because nowadays it seems so many of the good guys don't win. I think it's important.
Yeah, I think we need a bit more of that hope. We need the happy endings, right? Because
I like happy endings. Happy endings.
We live in an unknown.
I never watched so I gave up on Game of Thrones. I kept killing everybody I liked. I'm like, okay, I'm done.
Right. This is the last death.
What is it about British writers that kill people off? I need to know.
This is an question for you at home. So,
by the way, I am like addicted to these little drinks.
What are they?
They're Bang.
What are they? I've never even seen them before.
It's a sugar-free, calorie-free, pretty much energy drink, but it has all like the natural stuff in it.
Okay.
Like CoQ10 and amino acids and. Well, that's what this is. This is my ice water, which I drink several of these a day.
I'm living in.
And I allow myself to have. This is my caffeine for the day because I don't drink coffee.
Okay, well.
And I only have one. That's it. I cut myself off. And then I drink water. I don't even drink soda. I give up soda.
Yeah, I need to sort my stuff out. I mean, living in like a full year of 30 degrees with nearly 100% humidity gets a bit wearing at times, I have to be honest. So it's quite heavy.
Okay, now, what's 30 degrees in Fahrenheit? Do we know?
30, double it and add 30, 90.
90, okay. Wow.
Más o menos.
See, I don't sweat, so I'm going to have to come down there and visit during the cool season.
Oh, you'd love it. I sweat like...
Everybody's like, you mean you don't perspire? I'm like, no. My body actually holds in heat. It refuses to release the heat. Wow. So
I'm actually allergic to my sweat. So it's actually agony for me to sweat. And my doctor said, you need to not sweat. I said, I sweat opening my eyelids and thinking about going for a pee in the morning. I start sweating because it's bloody hot. And I can't afford aircon 24/7. So I can't actually not sweat, really. This is kind of just how we roll.
You're just going to have to pass some of that sweatability over to me, that's all.
We need to morph. Okay, so I'm thinking future holidays in Cancun, Mexico. We need to talk about these things. We're going to love you and leave you now because it's coming to the end of the show. But like I said, we are going to leave links of everywhere where they can find the wonderful, the elegant, the charismatic Candi Fox. Slightly cheeky, slightly naughty as well, right?
I'm a lot cheeky.
I'm not cheeky and a lot naughty.
A lot naughty.
Candi, thank you so much for spending time with me today. It's been really amazing. Thank you for coming and being part of my world. And I'm pleased that you let me into a bit more of yours. And like I said, I hope everyone reads your books, comments on how amazing they were, and tell all their friends about them. And really do look forward to when you get back up and running with your podcast and stuff, have another chat. And when you get your first film contract, you better be coming back on my show, sister.
I will. One series needs to be films, and the other one should be TV shows for sure, like a TV series on HBO.
All of them.
There's lots of great sex, so yeah.
All of them. And I really feel, and this is kind of spirit leading me here, that one of your future characters should be a really like charismatic English boy called Jaden.
Do that. Actually, I have a charismatic English guy in one of my books, so maybe one of his friends can come over. Yeah.
One of his friends, a little bit stupid maybe, a little bit of a ditz, can come over.
Of course, I'll have to make him a famous singer, because
Well, yeah, that's not a bad idea. Good. See, this is why you mean.
Should I make him a vampire or
vampire?
Kind of paranormal, or make him
vampire?
Vampire.
Absolutamente, sí. Yeah, he's got to be vampire. Cool. Well, I'm even more looking forward to that now than what I was before it even existed. So I'm just gonna. Are you up for doing? Actually, I'm not even going to give you a choice to say yes or no. We're doing quick fire now, Candi Fox. I'm going to throw at you 2 words. You need to tell me which word resonates with you the fastest. Okay? Are you ready?
Okay.
Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings.
Reading or TV?
Reading.
Netflix or Disney Channel?
Disney.
Vampires or werewolves?
Damn it. I can't answer that question. I'll get in trouble with my characters.
Okay, cats or dogs?
You think I'm kidding? No.
No, I'm not ever coming. Cats or dogs?
Vampires like to talk more.
Then, is that your choice?
No. Cats. As I said, my dogs would get in trouble with that one.
Pizza or pasta?
Pasta.
Endless money or true love?
Damn it. I'm romantic, true love.
Oh, wow, okay. Pajamas or naked?
Oh, naked.
Edward Cullen or Jaden?
Strangling in the middle of the night.
Edward Cullen or Jaden Cornelius?
Oh, Jaden.
It's a fecking miracle that all my guests always choose me. That's just amazing.
It's really funny.
So
I have to set on my book signing things a very sparkly black thing, and and in it I have pixie sticks, and it's Edward Cullen's ashes.
Really?
That's what I tell everybody.
Do people go, oh my God, really? I just did.
Like, yeah, because, you know, vampires should not be sparkly, so we killed him here.
Yeah, although I kind of like that whole kind of sparkly bit, really. It's still quite nice. Like when I decide to go over to the dark side or the light side or the sparkly side, I would still like to be quite sparkly in the sun. I don't want to have to hide all the time.
Well, you know, we can give you glitter.
Why not? Oh, the amount of sweat I'm making, there's going to be like little vampire pools on the floor around here. It's not going to stay on my body for too long. But anyway, I'm going to bear that in mind for when I do become a vampire in my old age, and I shall let you know how it rolls.
Okay.
Candi Fox, thank you so much for being part of the Jaden Show. You're amazing. I'm so pleased that you came on and talked to me.
Thank you.
Severely loving the hair. Severely loving the hair. Amazing.
My little blue.
Amazing.
I match the ocean.
Ocean blue.
Ocean blue.
Loving it. Okay, that could be my new colour once my natural blonde has gone. Sweetness, thank you so much. Come back and see us again soon. Send you the biggest hugs all the way up there in the States. And good luck with everything you do. You're amazing.
Well, thank you.
All right, Han, I'll speak to you soon.
All right.
Ta-ra. Yay! We love it. It was amazing to catch up with Candi, and you would have seen links of where you can find her, and you can find her books as well. I really do suggest you go and start reading her books. They're really, really amazing. And please let her know what you think of them. It's always good for artists to have feedback. Thank you so much for being part of today's show. It was super great for us. We enjoyed it, didn't we, Taff? And Causatin enjoyed it. We had a really, really great time today. Thank you so much for watching the Jaden Show. We really enjoyed doing it, don't we, Bubs? Huh? Sure handsome. Little fish. So yes, join us, subscribe, tell your friends, tell your family, tell your next door neighbour, tell even the people you don't like about the Jaden Show. Please subscribe, please comment, please share, and I will see you again next Sunday. Take care. Cuidarte. Hasta luego. Besos.